Hey friends, Steve from ThunderStash Gaming, and welcome to a very special video. Today I'm giving you an exclusive behind the scenes look at my recent trip to New York City for the Switch 2 experience. And let me tell you, this was an experience that I'll never forget. In fact, we got to stay for 5 hours instead of the normal 3, and that extra time made a world of difference. We were hands-on with a ton of games, and honestly, some of the games I saw there I didn't even expect to see. But that wasn't even the most exciting part. Our group got to participate in the Mario Kart World Knockout Mode tournament. And yes, you guessed it, I won the tournament. It was all on camera too, so you will get to see that as well. We spent time with the Switch 2 in both docked and handheld modes, each of course offering its own unique experience, but what's interesting is there's not a lot of difference there. Also, we even had the chance to pull apart the Joy-Cons, check out the hardware, test out those magnets, kind of get into the nitty-gritty details that you won't find in most previews. One of the things I really appreciated was getting to talk with Nintendo about their new Medal Achievement system, which, by the way, is going to be in more games than just Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. So, that's some pretty big news, and I will touch on that when I talk about a different game that will be in my impressions. But it wasn't just about Nintendo. No. We also got a chance to play third-party titles, including a Cyberpunk demo. Now, when I was playing the game, I noticed somebody over there that looked like maybe they were from CD Projekt Red, and it was none other than Radek Grabowski, the global PR director at CD Projekt Red. And I was able to confirm that the build we were playing was the 7-week build. And I was also able to confirm that the game is coming to the 64GB cart, which we knew, but it will include the full package, including the DLC, and the price, which we didn't know yet, is $70. He also asked me what I thought about Cyberpunk, and I will be sharing more details about that in my first impressions video of Cyberpunk, so stay tuned for that. Speaking of pros, we also met Jose Otero. Yes, that Jose Otero, the former manager of IGN's Nintendo channel, who now works for Nintendo. And let me tell you, he was as kind and professional as they come. When I approached him, he even said it was an honor to chat with me. Honestly, it was an honor for me to meet him because I had watched him for years on IGN, and of course watched on the podcast. So to me, the man is kind of a legend because he's living the dream. He's working for Nintendo. So really cool that I got to have a conversation with him. And just that he was at the event, it was just so surreal seeing him there. And the swag, let's not forget about the swag. We got these amazing Switch 2 backpacks that you can see on the floor beside me. And honestly, they're super functional. They have slots for the Switch 2, for the dock, games, accessories. It's honestly one of the best gaming backpacks I've ever had, and I was planning on purchasing a Switch 2 carrying case, but now I don't need to, so that was very nice, and definitely something I wasn't expecting. Now, let's talk about how we ended up in New York in the first place. So we got our tickets at the very last minute, and I'm talking last minute, like we found out we were going and immediately dropped what we were doing. I jumped online, booked flights from Arizona to New York, and got us a hotel room at the Hilton in Times Square West. Now, this is the first time for me in New York City, and I gotta tell you, it did not disappoint. And one thing that I gotta mention that I think is just funny is I never had really any interest in going to New York. I don't travel a lot. It's nothing against New York, but I did say, and I've said this for probably 2 decades, that probably the only reason or way I would end up going to New York would be because I'd want to go visit the Nintendo New York store. So it would probably be like Nintendo related if I ever went to New York. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. just not in the way I expected. So I had to share that with you guys. I thought it was funny. Now, as an Italian, I was dying to try the pizza, bagels, and the New York cheesecake, and let me tell you, I was not let down. We walked 17 miles in 48 hours exploring the city. And yes, it was 17 miles, and if you're wondering how we know that, it's because Michaela has a step counting app and it automatically converts it to the amount of miles. And yeah, we walked 17 miles, and let me tell you, we could feel it. I could barely feel my legs. I was taking some ibuprofen. Honestly, I felt like I had shin splints again, which it's been a really long time since I felt that way, but totally worth it. And while we were there, we made a stop by the MetLife building where my grandpa was inducted into the New York Management Hall of Fame for his incredible work at MetLife as the VP of Sales. Unfortunately, the exhibit was closed for a state-of-the-art renovation, so I guess I'll have to go back to New York. But it was still a really special moment to be standing in front of that historic building, knowing my grandpa's legacy was a part of it. And my grandpa and I were very close. I even lived with them for a long time with my grandpa and grandma, so it was really cool just to be able to go there. We also had a chance to experience New York's charm. Let's just say we ran into at least a few interesting characters along the way. I mean, we were in New York City, so of course, we had a run-in with people trying to sell us something that we didn't need. Definitely some illegal substances, but hey, that's the city, right? It wasn't the worst thing in the world. Honestly, if you go to LA, Vegas, it's the same thing, no big deal to us. But not everything was about the Switch 2, even though that was the whole point of the trip. As someone who loves the 80s, New York felt like stepping back into that era. Everywhere we went, there was 80s music playing. Rockefeller Center, Grand Central Station, Times Square. It was like the 80s were live again, and it felt like home. We went to one bar while we were there, and it just happened to be an 80s themed bar, and there were 2 seats open at the end of the bar. That was it. There was no other seats available, and so we took the 2 seats, and the funniest thing is that at the end of the bar, there's a Zenith TV, CRT, an NES, and a VCR set up right at the bar, and it was just like, dude, this is a sign that we are in the right place. It looks like it was ripped from my bedroom. We grew up on Zenith TVs. I still have a Zenith TV. I love Zenith. So it was just so funny that it was there with a NES. I'm like, wow. Also, shout out to Ace's Pizza at Rockefeller Center. We had the best pizza I've had in New York, even though, to be honest, all the pizza was incredible. But the vibe was perfect. They had wood paneling, Pizza Hut style lamps, Christmas lights, and episodes of Alf playing on TV. And of course, they had 80s music, and so it was just a 1980s dream, and the pizza was so good. Now, let me be honest, guys. Things almost took a turn for the worse when we were on the plane. We had just landed, and I felt someone grabbing my brand new iPhone 16 Pro Max out of my back pocket. And this is when the plane had landed, and I was getting the luggage out of the overhead compartment, and I could feel something coming out of my back pocket. So this would have been really bad because all of my footage of the event is on the phone. So thankfully that didn't happen. Crisis averted. I caught the person in time and was able to keep everything intact. It was a little wild, but I'm glad. I'm so glad we're able to come back home safe and sound with everything we took to New York still with us. All in all, guys, the trip was absolutely incredible, and I'm so excited to share everything with you. And here's the thing. This video is just the beginning. I'm working on full videos with our hands-on impressions. You guys hear that? That's Alarmo right there going off. But I'm working on hands-on impressions for games like Mario Kart World, Metroid Prime 4, Donkey Kong Bonanza, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, Dragon Drive, Cyberpunk 2077, Hogwarts Legacy, the GameCube NSO featuring F-Zero and Wind Waker, while using the new GameCube NSO controller, and I did activate CRT mode, Hades 2, and the Switch 2 Tour. We also observed some other awesome games like Mario Party Jamboree, Kirby and the Forgotten Land with the DLC, Street Fighter 6, Yakuza 0 Director's Cut, Civ 7, and Split Fiction. So yeah, there's a lot more to come. Now, please remember, Michaela and I are not professional videographers by any means. I still consider myself a total noob. I didn't even start recording videos or Photoshop until 2 years ago for the first time. So we're just two folks trying our best to bring you everything from this incredible journey. Our goal was to capture everything, not just the gameplay, although there's plenty, so that you could feel like you were right there with us at the event. And we just hope you enjoy the footage, and who knows, maybe next time you will be the one at the event. So keep an eye out for the full hands-on impressions and more from the Switch 2 experience in upcoming videos. And just to give you an update, all the videos are converted now, and all of the impressions are written up. So everything's pretty much ready to go. I just need to get in front of the camera and record, but I first wanted to record this video for you guys so you know what's coming. So that's it. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you soon, and remember, you're never too old to play video games.